So we're going to deep dive into AI, right? And how Google used it to crack this superbug mystery.
Oh.
That had scientists stumped for years. And the AI did it in just 2 days.
What? 2 days?
2 days. We're talking a problem that's been, like, plaguing researchers for a decade, solved in, I don't know, less time than it takes to binge watch a whole season of whatever you're watching.
Yeah.
Our source here is this really cool article on Slashdot, and let me tell you, the comment section, it is buzzing.
I bet. So what's like the core finding here?
Basically, Google, they built this AI tool, right? And it was able to like come up with the same hypothesis about superbug development as a team of, actual human scientists.
Yeah.
Who spent years researching the topic.
So that's huge. 2 days versus years of research. That's pretty significant. It just shows you the potential, I think, for AI to speed up these scientific discoveries, especially in fields where, like, you're doing a lot of data analysis.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not even just about the speed. This AI was also able to come up with, like, extra hypotheses.
Yeah.
Ones that the human researchers hadn't even thought of.
Wow. So it's almost like it's pointing to this idea that AI can see these patterns, right? These connections that maybe we as humans just miss, and that could lead to some real breakthroughs in how we understand, well, all sorts of complex things like superbugs.
Definitely. But, going through the Slashdot comments, there was definitely like a good mix of amazement for sure, but also some skepticism.
Yeah, for sure.
There were a bunch of readers who were like, wait, did the AI actually crack the problem? Like, did it really figure it out, or was it just like, spitting back patterns it had already learned?
Right, from all that data they used to train it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's a valid concern. AI models, especially these huge ones, they can appear, well, sometimes they can seem even smarter than they are. Like, it's important to be able to tell the difference between an AI that's just, like, copying existing knowledge and one that's actually coming up with something new.
That makes sense.
It really kind of leads to this bigger discussion about how we judge, like, evaluate AI's role in science, right? Do we want tools that are just helping us, augmenting our capabilities? Or are we, like, heading towards a world where AI is, going to be making all the discoveries?
Like, is AI a powerful assistant or a potential rival?
Right.
But instead of just focusing on, like, this fear of being replaced, what if we looked at, like, the amazing potential of collaboration?
Yeah, absolutely. Imagine, like, scientists working with AI, like side by side, right? Using its ability to analyze tons of data, to pinpoint the promising leads, and then they can focus their expertise on actually testing and refining those leads.
Yeah, that could be a total game changer in fields like healthcare, where we're always up against these really, really complex challenges, like superbugs. But there's another part of this story that I found super interesting.
Oh, tell me.
So the article, it mentions how the AI suggested that superbugs can, and I'm quoting here, form a tail.
It's hail.
A tail to help them spread between species.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really explain, like, what tail means.
Interesting. That's pretty vague.
It is. And, of course, that ambiguity led to a ton of discussion in the comments. Some people thought maybe, like, tail refers to, like, a specific genetic element, something that's involved in, like, gene transfer between bacteria.
Huh, interesting. I wonder, did they have a specific name for it, maybe, in the comments?
Yeah. They were talking about, what were they called?
I don't know. I'm curious.
Genomic islands.
Genomic islands?
Yeah, genomic islands.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So maybe, like, the AI kind of stumbled onto something really important, even if the article didn't explain it, super well.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, genomic islands are these clusters of genes, right, that bacteria can pick up from other organisms. So it's like, they get these genetic add-ons that give them new abilities.
So like a software update, but for bacteria.
Exactly, like a software update for bacteria. And some of these updates, they can be really helpful for the bacteria, allowing them to, like, adapt to new environments or resist antibiotics or even cause diseases.
Wow. Okay, so that makes sense. So the AI, maybe it's suggesting that superbugs are using these genomic islands to, like, form a tail, and this tail helps them to jump between species. But the article, it doesn't really say how that would work.
Yeah, no, it doesn't get into the specifics. It's like, we have this treasure map, but we're missing the key to decipher it.
Right. And it makes you wonder, like, is there more to this tail idea than we realize? Could it be like a metaphor for something we don't even understand yet about superbug evolution?
That's a great question, and it highlights the fact that we're really just scratching the surface when it comes to understanding this whole world of bacteria and antibiotic resistance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. Like, we've got this amazing tool, this AI, right, that can unlock these secrets that are just buried in mountains and mountains of data. But we gotta make sure, I think, that those secrets are presented in a way that everyone can understand. You know what I mean?
It's like, how do we bridge that gap
Me.
between what the AI is telling us and like what we humans can actually wrap our heads around?
Yeah, exactly.
Because if we can't understand it, it's almost useless, right?
It is. It is. It's totally useless if we can't, like, grasp the meaning of it all.
Yeah, exactly.
And the implications. So this brings us back to this idea of, like, humans and AI working together, right? Collaborating. What if we had this world where scientists are using AI to, analyze all this data and pinpoint these potential breakthroughs, and then they jump in, the scientists, with their own expertise and intuition and really dive deep into those findings.
It'd be like having a research partner who can like process information at like warp speed
Exactly.
and then point you in the right direction. And then, you, the human, with all your creativity and intuition and all that, you can take those insights and turn them into something, real world solutions.
Absolutely. It's all about using the strengths of both, right?
Yeah.
Humans and AI to really, like, push science forward. And I don't think this is just limited to healthcare either, right? This kind of collaboration.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it could revolutionize things like, climate modeling, material science, maybe even space exploration. Who knows?
Wow. So we could be talking about solving some of the biggest challenges humanity faces.
Absolutely.
But, okay, I got to ask, what about that fear, that AI will eventually just replace scientists altogether? Because, I mean, come on, this AI cracked the superbug code in 2 days. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Maybe a little intimidating even.
Yeah, it is. It's understandable that people would, feel a little unsure about this kind of technology, right? But I think we have to remember, AI, it's a tool. Like any tool, it all comes down to how we use it, So instead of seeing it as a threat, I think we should really be looking at it as this opportunity.
Okay, yeah.
To enhance our own abilities, to do things we never thought possible.
So it's not about like humans versus AI. It's more like humans and AI, like on the same team.
Exactly. Working together. Like, take drug discovery, for example, right? Developing new medications. It's a long process. It takes forever. It's super expensive. But what if we could use AI to analyze, like, huge, massive amounts of data, genetic information, chemical compounds, clinical trial data, all that stuff, and use that to find potential new drugs that might have been missed using, the old ways of doing things.
Yeah, that could potentially shave years off, the whole drug development process.
Exactly, and get those life-saving treatments to people faster. And then once we've got those potential drugs, human scientists, they can jump in, do more research, design those clinical trials, and make sure the new medications are safe and effective. I mean, that's just one example of how AI can really make us better, right? Help us do more, achieve things we couldn't on our own.
It is really exciting to think about all the possibilities.
Yeah.
But okay, let's go back to that tail thing for a minute. You said genomic islands might be involved, but I got to admit, I'm not really sure what those are.
Oh, right. Yeah. So genomic islands, they're these like clusters of genes that bacteria can acquire from other organisms. Think of them as like these genetic add-ons that can give bacteria all sorts of new powers.
So like I said, it's like a software update, but for bacteria.
That's it. That's a great analogy, like a software update. And some of these updates, well, they can be pretty good for the bacteria, allowing them to adapt to new environments, resist those antibiotics, maybe even cause disease.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So the AI might be saying that these superbugs are using these genomic islands to like build that tail to help them spread between species. But the article, it doesn't explain like how that would work, does it?
No, unfortunately, it doesn't really give us the details. It's like, we have this treasure map, but we don't have the key to actually read it.
That's right. And it makes you wonder, is there more to this whole tail thing than we think? Could it be like a metaphor for something we don't get yet? About superbug evolution, I mean.
It's a really interesting thought. It just goes to show we still have so much to learn about bacteria and how they become resistant to antibiotics.
Yeah, it really does feel like the more we learn, the more we realize we don't know.
It's true.
But that's also what makes science so cool, right?
Absolutely, yeah. It's the constant discovery,
Yeah.
There's always something new waiting to be found. And with these tools like AI, I mean, we can explore those unknowns so much faster and deeper. than ever before.
You're right. It's so exciting.
Yeah.
But, as we're like going further and further into these uncharted territories, we gotta be careful, right? Think about the implications.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's not just about like the thrill of finding something new. It's about making sure we use these technologies responsibly, ethically even.
You're right. You're right.
Like one of the big challenges we have is making sure that these AI systems are transparent, explainable.
Slanderable,
We
yeah.
need to understand how they're getting the results, especially when those results could, really impact people's lives.
Yeah, because it's one thing for AI to like make a prediction or suggest something,
Yeah.
but it's a whole other thing for us to actually trust those predictions enough to like act on them.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, being given directions, but you
Yeah.
have no idea how the route was planned. Sure, you might get where you're going, but you're going to have that little bit of doubt in the back of your mind the whole way there. Like, how did it even come up with this?
Yeah. So how do we deal with that? How do we make like AI's decision-making process clearer so that we as humans can understand it better?
Well, it's tough. It's going to take a lot of collaboration between computer scientists, ethicists, people who really know their stuff in whatever field the AI is being used in. I think we need to develop better ways to like visualize what's going on inside these AI systems and how they're making their decisions. We also need to like have some ground rules, right, for how these AI systems should be built and used.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of work to be done, but it's important work, right? If we want to like really use the full potential of AI, but also, avoid the possible risks.
Absolutely. And as AI becomes more and more a part of our lives, I think having these conversations is crucial. We got to make sure we have those safeguards in place.
Well, I got to say, this deep dive has been, well, it's been pretty thought-provoking. We talked about like, the crazy speed of AI-powered discoveries and all the mysteries of superbug evolution. And of course, the whole thing about responsible AI development. I mean, it's clear that we're living in a time where science is just like exploding with new advancements.
Yeah, it's an exciting time, no doubt, but it's also, a time for careful consideration. And as we keep pushing the boundaries of science, I think AI is going to be more and more important.
So to our listeners out there, if
Yeah.
you're fascinated by all this AI stuff and how it's changing science, stay curious, keep learning, and get involved in these conversations about how we shape the future of science and technology.
Because in the end, the future of AI, it's in our hands.
It really is. That's all for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.